Hi, everyone. You're tuned in to Savvy, the show featuring entrepreneurs, authors, and people with a passion. My guest tonight is a business owner, entrepreneur with a passion for sports, Candi Waller of CWALL Sports and Entertainment. Welcome, Candi. And before we jump into your fun business that you have, tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so Kathy, first, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
A little bit about my background. I am a Prince George's County girl. Grew up right down the street in Mitchellville,
Okay,
Maryland.
okay.
Went to Bowie High School.
Okay, shout out to
Yeah,
Bowie High
gotta
School.
shout out Bowie High School, Bowie Bulldogs. And then I went to Hampton University.
Shout out to Hampton University,
Yes,
HBCU. We
yes.
love our
Please,
HBCUs.
yes, I'm a very
I
proud Hamptonian.
right, and I'm a very proud graduate of Virginia State University, but we're
Yes,
but we're sister HBCU graduates, and so we
yes.
want to give a shout out to our HBCUs, Hampton University and Virginia State University.
Yes, absolutely. And then came back home after Hampton and went to GW, George Washington
Okay,
University, for
okay,
graduate school.
okay.
Also, a little bit about me. I'm a very proud member of Delta Sigma Theta
Shout out
Sorority
to our
Incorporated.
sorors of Delta Sigma
So,
Theta sorority, the best sorority. We have to give them a shout out.
absolutely, absolutely. So,
Okay, well, you've been busy.
yes.
And so you're having a lot of fun with your business. So tell us about CWALL Sports and Entertainment.
So that's always, I feel like that's such a loaded question, but because it's always evolving.
Right.
But right now, what I'm doing with CWALL Sports and Entertainment really sports around sports journalism and
Okay.
sports media coverage,
Mm-hmm.
as well as fan engagement.
Oh, I like that. Fan
Hmm.
engagement. Let's talk
Yeah.
about fan engagement. We'll
Okay.
come back to the journalism, but
Okay.
let's talk about fan engagement. What does that mean and what do you do in terms of fan engagement?
So, in terms of fan engagement, what that includes is taking groups of authentic sports fans
Okay.
and going to national and local sporting events. So, what we did in the
Wow.
last
Wow.
year is took a group of folks to the Pro Bowl
Okay.
in Orlando. Then
Mm-hmm.
we did NBA All Star Weekend in LA, as well as Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, which is right up in Baltimore.
And like I said, you're having too much fun with this business. You
Yeah,
are
yeah,
having a
it's
lot of
a lot of
fun.
fun. It is. It is. Have to be honest about that. Coming up, we're just doing a lot of the local sporting events. So we like to do a lot of the Wizards games. They have a
Okay.
concert series, so we
Mm-hmm.
typically take a large group of folks
Okay.
to those
Okay.
events as well. And Redskin season is coming up, so we'll be doing some group events for that as well.
Okay, hail to the Redskins.
Yep.
We have to shout out our Redskins as well. So now let's get back to the journalism
Mm-hmm.
component of your business. What does
Yes.
that entail?
So that entails the goal being covering all of DC sports. So targeting professional and collegiate, then we'll also be including youth sports as well.
Okay.
So
okay.
that comes from everything from live coverage to, after game analysis and things of that nature.
Okay. Well, I have to ask the question about you being a woman in what it seems to be a male-dominated industry, sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, of all the businesses that you could have started, and it's obvious about this passion that you have for this sports and entertainment, and you're having so much fun with it, but you could have fun just as a spectator. So, what was the why behind starting CWALL Sports and Entertainment?
I have to be honest. Not that I didn't watch cartoons as a kid, because I absolutely watched cartoons as a child. But one of my favorite shows when I was growing up was the George Michael Sports Machine.
Wow.
Honestly.
What kid says
I
that?
know what kid says that. Me. I say it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but and my dad would tell anyone that I watched sports all day. I would take notes, and he would call me, because he worked at night, and he would call me, if he had to go in early and ask me what happened that day.
Wow.
And I would respond back about everything that happened with the game. And he
Wow.
was like, "What is going on?"
So do you have
here?"
brothers,
Yes, I
siblings?
do.
You do,
We
and
have an older
so
sister
were
and
your
older brother.
brothers and your sisters involved in sports also?
They not as much as me.
Where do you think that
Um,
came from?
Honestly,
I mean, was it because of your dad? Did you start watching sports with your dad? I mean, where do you think this passion for sports originated?
I played a lot of sports just in playground activities, and I'm really still trying to figure that out. I don't know if it was just the nature of the competition. I mean, my dad definitely watches a lot of sports, but for me, it was just a different energy. I just really enjoyed kind of like the art of competition, and just seeing athletes do what I felt like was almost physically impossible.
Wow. Okay.
And so it was just always very cool for me to watch that, and it was exciting. You could see the emotions with people. You know, when your team loses, people are sad. When your team is winning, they're really happy. So I was just always intrigued by the overall feel that people get when they are watching sports.
And it brings people together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, folks become best of friends just by getting
just
season
by watching
tickets,
a game,
or just sitting in the same, section at a game.
Do you see that a lot when you're coordinating trips, and do people make lasting friendships and relationships?
Absolutely. I mean, I've had people that don't even really watch sports come to one of the events.
That's me.
And just say, I had a great time.
I'm the person at the Super Bowl party that's just there for the food. So I'm one of those people.
Absolutely. So it definitely brings people together. Like I said, win, lose, or draw, it's a great way to build camaraderie with other folks that you may not even have spoken to
right,
any other time.
Right. Or you may be opposed to in some other walks of life, but it seems like it's a level playing field when you're at a Redskins game or a baseball game, and I think we lose some of those political, even like political. That political stuff when we're at a sporting event.
Absolutely.
So I think that's great. So I'm intrigued about, you being, because I'm a business coach, and I'm just so very intrigued about you being a woman in again, what is perceived to be a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges does that present for you, or does it present any challenges? It may not present any, but how do you find yourself fitting in to this whole sports world with, mostly men, I'm assuming?
How can I answer this? I kind of just insert myself in certain conversations.
Okay.
I feel like this is probably about the only industry where I have no fear of voicing my opinion because I'm a woman.
That's interesting.
If I have an opinion, now I'm just comfortable voicing it. Now I'll be honest and say,
is it very well? Is it always well received?
It's no.
Okay.
It's not always well received, and it also it's kind of like no one's paying attention to you, and you literally have to insert yourself in a conversation. Like literally, you have to walk over and just say, "Hey," and start talking, because any other time they just, and I don't think it's intentional.
It's not intentional, but I can imagine once you start talking and folks know and they hear that you know what you're talking about.
Right.
I think that makes a big difference. Now,
Absolutely.
me, I couldn't do that. I couldn't even, I can tell you where the Redskins play, but other than that, I can't even tell you anything about the sport. But I admire folks. I'm always around because I have sports fans in my family, of course. A lot of my friends and family are sports fans, and like I said, I'm there for the Super Bowl parties. I've had Redskin parties at my house. Never watched the TV, but I'm the one serving the food and stuff like that. So I admire you, for being like you say, inserting yourself into the actual event and the nuances of sports and the details of the sports, because that's something that I could never even do at this point in my life, and I've done a lot of things. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
So. Tell me about how you're able then, because I'm assuming you started your business. How long have you been in business?
Oh, it seems a lot longer than it has been. I started March 2017.
Okay, so not that long.
It's not been that long.
Okay, but like I said, I'm observing you. You're having a lot of fun with this business, and so I admire you for that. So I'm assuming then you're still working full time?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you juggle this fun, passionate business of yours with a full-time job? Because I'm assuming that your full-time job is also demanding.
Yes.
So how do you juggle that? I mean, and I think that's important for other business owners to hear, because, as I coach people, they think, okay, I'm in business now, I'm going to quit my job. But it doesn't always, that's not always the natural flow of things.
Right.
So how do you juggle, you know, being this business owner, being at sporting events, creating all these great trips, and managing a full-time position?
Well, I did have to have a transparent conversation with my I call it my day job. I had a transparent conversation, and they were very receptive. I'm extremely blessed to have the job, both of my jobs, but my day job, they were very receptive to it and encouraged me to follow my passion, understanding that I needed some flexibility in some areas. So, you know, blessed to have a job that cares about what you really love to do.
But I think the key is that honesty is always the best policy, right? And so, you know, and again, in the age of social media, and because of what you do, because part of what you do is journalism. So to me, it would have, if I were your coach, I would have said to you, you know, it's best to be honest. Because I can't tell you how many events I've been to where people have their phones out and, you know, they're already posting on Facebook and Instagram and, you know, tweeting stuff out. And, you know, I was at one event where this lady said, oh, don't take my picture. I called out sick. I'm like, that ship is sailed. You're already on Facebook. You know, just, you know, if you called out sick today was not the day, because I bet you're already on social media.
Right, and I'm just honest. Like you said, it's the best policy. So when I took trips, you know, Pro Bowl, NBA, I just told them where I was going, and they knew, and it was okay. And some of them actually are trying to get tickets for me to go to Cavs games and things of that nature. So it's working.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good to hear. So you just returned from Redskins training camp.
Yes, can you tell?
Yes, I can. And so I know you did a lot of tweeting and updating folks while you were there. I know you were engaged with the fans. What can you tell us about that experience, and what can Redskin fans look forward to this season?
You know, what's funny is, you know, the question about being a woman in such a male-dominated, you know, industry. I call it now being on the other side of the rope, because now I'm not on the fan side, I'm on the side with the media. And there was a couple of incidents where a couple of footballs came my way.
Wow,
I was having to duck and dodge and do all kinds of stuff to get out of the way. And so my male colleagues, I call them, had to help a sister out. I wasn't doing too well out there one day, but what I took away from that experience, and just overall of it being hot and having a whole newfound respect for athletes, because it was unbearably hot.
Wow. And you weren't even running around like they were doing and getting hit and tackled and all of that stuff. Wow. Okay, I can't even imagine that
either. It was hot. And so they really love what they do, and that's part of the reason why I love sports.
It's about passion.
And it's that passion. I mean, to get up as early as they do and stay fit, and a couple of, you know, opportunities I had to talk to the players. That was one of the questions that I had. How do you persevere in this type of heat? You know, I would have been like, forget this. I'm going back inside.
So what kind of answers did you get to that?
They say they had the love of the game, and they talk a lot about their diet, so how they stay hydrated, and what really they're putting into their bodies helps them perform at an optimal level. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, that means I can't eat cheeseburgers and fries, because that's not going to help me out here in the heat. Right. But they're very forthcoming, and just they love what they do, and they understand that the weather is bad sometimes, and it's okay. They just deal with it and try to keep on moving.
Right.
Yeah.
So what else can we look forward to for the season?
That's a loaded question too. So, because I don't want to get people
don't give away
excited,
anything. Don't give away anything. But
one thing I can say, and I asked this question to some of my new media colleagues. One thing I really picked up on is the feeling of family. The organization seems to really care about their team and their fans, and they're really trying to make, they're trying to make the corrective action and showing that they really do appreciate their fans and their team. And one thing I think that people can look forward to is just seeing that level of brotherhood on the field from the players. They truly are looking out for each other. They truly do want to win. They really do.
They're working hard to win.
They are working hard.
Did they train hard? They did.
They did. It wasn't they weren't chilling out there at all. They weren't just like relaxing,
Right,
like, oh,
right.
training camp, whatever. No, they really were bringing their best selves to practice every day, and everybody from the coaching staff to the equipment managers and just the the players. So I think and I hope that fans are able to see that once the product gets out in the field, and I hope that shows that these guys are in a win now mentality, and it showed every day in practice.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite part? I mean, you talked about 2 tracks for your business. You talked about the journalism, and then you talked about fan engagement. I think I know the answer, but what's your favorite? What's your favorite part about being the owner of CWALL Sports and Entertainment, other than being able to go to games and engage with the team? I mean, what?
I don't know. I think it's I really couldn't. I really think it's just being in the game atmosphere. I'm just not a rather sit at home and watch the game kind of person.
You want to be in the thick of everything.
In the thick of everything.
Okay.
Okay. And that is truly what I enjoy most about it. This is a different energy when you're in there.
Okay.
And you can, and I'm a people watcher.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm not paying attention to the game, I'm just watching other people, how they're reacting. I mean, it was crazy at training camp. I watched these kids, and it was so funny because a lot of people know, I say it on the air, that my favorite Redskin is a player by the name of Josh Norman. Okay, I don't want to say that too loud. But anyway.
Somehow I think that's no surprise to people that follow you.
But like, I saw these kids that were getting his autograph, and these kids were they were crying. And I laughed to myself at first, like, I feel like crying too, But it's like they get really, really into it. And it makes their whole entire day. Like, these kids are never going to forget these players that took a selfie with them. It took a minute out of their very busy schedules just to say hello. They're never going to forget that as long as they live.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of stuff that I'm really enjoying now. Even as being a fan, and I got to be starstruck, during the NBA All-Star Weekend. I got to have my moments of, oh my God, And that was really the fun part about it. I mean, over time you get maybe tired of hearing some stuff, but for me, I'm not tired yet, and I don't think I'm ever going to get tired.
I don't think you will either. No. So how do fans engage with you? Tell us, fan engagement is something big about your business. So how do fans engage with you? How can they keep up to date? Because you said you cover DC sports, right?
Yes.
So for those that are interested in engaging with you and staying up to date and kind of getting the inside scoop on things, as they happen, how should they engage with you?
I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So Facebook, it is CWALL Sports and Entertainment. You can follow that page. Instagram is CWALL Sports, and Twitter, it's at CWALL SE.
Okay, and SE is for Sports and Entertainment.
Yes.
So CWALL SE, CWALL Sports and Entertainment. Okay.
Yes.
That is good to know. Even though I'm not any particular sports fan, I do follow you because I find that your posts are very engaging.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, I think that you keep I believe you keep your group engaged, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So what's next for CWALL Sports and Entertainment? When I look at your website, there's a lot going on there. So what's your next big thing?
Well, football season is upon us, so look for more analysis and more coverage of the game from that perspective. I do have a project coming up very soon. It's a podcast that will be coming out and looking to launch in September.
Okay.
Coaching from the Couch is the name of it. I'll go ahead and let that cat out of the bag.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Coaching from the couch.
That's right. Because if you're not on the field, you're on the couch.
Okay. So that's an upcoming podcast.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down so I can follow you on that too. So it's called Coaching from the Couch.
It is.
Everybody, so follow CWALL Sports and Entertainment and Candi Waller on Facebook so you can keep in touch when her podcast Coaching from the Couch is launched. I like that.
Yep.
So what's
the next big one? And that's covering all DC sports as well as, other hot topics going on in the sports industry as well.
Okay.
Um, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be very cool.
I think that will be very cool. I
And
think that
then
will be.
we have basketball season coming up, so I know a lot of folks are already inquiring about what Wizard group events we're doing and everything. The Caps are going to be a big deal as they're just coming off of their Stanley Cup victory. So we'll be doing some group events with the Caps as well. So just going to more games and doing more coverage.
So I have to ask you a personal question.
Uh-oh.
So you said your dad used to call you and get the scoop on sports.
All the scoop.
Your dad must be like overjoyed now that his baby girl is on the field with these players and these in the team. And so how does your dad feel about you and your sports? Because I'm a daddy's girl. And I know how my father felt about me and my accomplishments. And I'm getting a little...
Yeah.
Just even thinking about it, but I just can't imagine, how your dad must feel having his baby girl out there with the team.
The best thing ever. I remember when I told him I was going to do it, he said, "Well, it's about time."
Wow.
Like, okay.
Wow.
So that was his response. So, yeah, it was about time.
Okay. So do you think you'll stay like because the name of the business is sports and entertainment, so do you think you'll stay on the sports side, or is there any like plans, aspirations, thoughts, ideas to do more on the entertainment side in terms of like concerts, shows, anything like that?
I don't know.
Any interest?
It really is.
Any
because
interest?
When I first did CWALL Sports Entertainment, I was like, well, entertainment can be, tailgates outside the football stadium. That's entertaining. I kind of thought of it like that. Then,
but are you always going to tie it in with sports? I guess is my question. Or
yes, that is
that's your goal. Okay,
that is my goal.
Okay,
it could definitely change. But it could change. But that right now, I'm gonna tie entertainment into sports.
Into sports. Well, I think it makes sense for what you're doing, and you're kind of staying in your lane with what you are passionate about and what you enjoy doing. Because I had a guest, Leslie Anderson, a few weeks ago, and she said, do what you love, and you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting that. I'm getting that passion from you in terms of what you're doing, and so I think that's a great thing.
It never feels like work. All the days I was in training camp, in my Saturdays and Sundays, I gave them up, and I didn't even.
Well, that's a blessing. That I think that's truly a blessing. Yep. I do. So, I just want to take a minute before we come back to you. I know on your website, and we'll talk about it in a minute. I saw that you have a publishing component to the business. And before we talk about your publishing component, before I forget a little bit of my own business, just want to let people know that I am a published author of 6 books. I have 5 of them here. And I'm having a writing class in September, on September 22nd, at the South Bowie Branch Library. It's from 10:15 to 12:15. Again, it's September 22nd. And you can register now on Eventbrite, and just go to Eventbrite and search for Writers Jumpstart 2018. So you want to, it's an opportunity to be in the room with other writers, to exchange ideas, but to also get some tried and true lessons learned from another self-published author, yours truly, and to learn some successes, to avoid some, not failures, but mistakes that I made, that I didn't know when I first came out as a self-published author. So again, that class is September 22nd from 10:15 to 12:15 at the South Bowie Branch Library in Bowie, Maryland. And you can register on Eventbrite, and it's under Writers Jumpstart 2018. And for a limited time, there is a discount, and the discount code is SAVVY, SAVVY, same as the name of the show. If you're just tuning in, you are tuned into Savvy, and I am your host, Kathleen Driver. And my guest tonight is the founder and president of CWALL Sports and Entertainment, Candi Waller. And Candi has given us a lot of information about her sports and entertainment business. And I was just asking her about her publishing component that's listed on her website. She has a lot of services that she does to under sports and entertainment for sports journalism as well as fan engagement, which also allows her to have a lot of fun. So I just want to hear, before we close out tonight, a little bit about her publishing service.
So that is something that I'm looking to launch in the future as well. And just to also plug your Writers Mastermind class, I attended it and it was awesome.
Oh, well, thank you for doing that.
So,
thank you.
yeah.
Y'all heard that?
Yes, it
Success.
is definitely. Please attend it. It was definitely well worth the time and everything.
Oh, thank you, Candi.
So yeah, absolutely. So this came up honestly after a conversation that I had with a couple of NFL players during the Super Bowl week last year.
Okay.
And so many of the athletes in any sport, they have so many stories. The athletes that are not so notable, they have so many stories.
Great business mind.
And so, okay.
I see a great business mind here. Yeah, I mean, you're listening to these folks and you're like, okay,
yeah,
there's a book in the works.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them need outlets to share their story. So one of the other goals of CWALL is to provide that outlet for athletes to share their stories.
I think that's great. And so when you say outlet to share the stories, is it only writing books, or is it through blogging? Is it through podcasts? I mean, what are your ideas?
I'm thinking all of the above. Initially it was just books.
Okay.
But I know a lot of folks enjoy podcasts and things of that nature. So a platform really is now what it has become, because I even wanted to include a component of inspirational, speaking and mentoring as well.
Okay,
So,
I think that's great. I can't wait for you to do that.
Yes,
I'm
thank
excited
you.
about that.
I know you're gonna ask me about that next
You
time
know I
see me.
am. You know I am. Every time. Not next time. Every time I see you. So that's my way of encouraging you. I'll be a pest until it's done.
Well, I need it. Thank you.
And before we close out again, Candi, can you tell people how to follow you on social media?
Okay, so I always have to remember this myself. So on Facebook, it is CWALL Sports and Entertainment. On Instagram, it is CWALL Sports. And on Twitter, it is at CWALL SE. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do the same for all three. But
Well, the name may have been taken, but once people start following you, then they're followers. So the initial connection, may be a little bit challenging, but I'm confident that once they start following you, they will follow you.
Thank you.
And so before we close out tonight, speaking about entertainment, we just want to take a moment to honor the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, who made such a mark on the world. I mean, we can't even say the United States. She made an impression on this world. She leaves a legacy that is unmatched and unparalleled. And, I'm grateful that, God put me on this earth at the same time that he had the Queen of Soul on earth, so that we could enjoy the gift of her music and just the gift of her spirit. I mean, I just can't even imagine the loss to her family, because I see the loss to the world. I mean, coming over, every radio station was playing Aretha, and you could see, folks, in their cars singing along to the music. And so I just wanted to, before I close my show, to give honor to the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and we're so grateful for her and her talent. And Candi Waller, I am so grateful to you for coming on my show and sharing your passion and your business. And I wish nothing but great things for you. And that every time I see you, I'm going to ask you about what you're doing.
Yes,
and hopefully that'll propel you to the next phase.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Absolutely, absolutely. Good night, and we'll see you next Thursday at 6:30 on Savvy. I am your host, Kathleen Driver. Good night.